We got it all. Imagine waking up from surgery and hearing those words. How exciting. But did they really? How many of us know friends and family members who heard those 4 words only to find out 5 to 10 years later that they have metastatic cancer and die soon thereafter? This is all too common. How is it possible? The answer is simple. When the pathologist looks at this tumor, they examine all of the margins and see if there are any tumor cells right up against the margins. If there are tumor cells up against the margins, then they deduce that there are going to be tumor cells right outside the margins, and therefore they didn't get it all. So when the pathologist looks at the tumor and finds no cells up against the margin, then they conclude that there is no local extension. But there's a problem. So many tumors have already released circulating tumor cells into the bloodstream long before the tumor was even removed. This represents a huge gap, a fatal gap actually, in conventional oncology. They're concerned with the local extension, but not metastatic spread through the bloodstream. And there's no way of detecting with the tumor itself whether the tumor has already spread through the bloodstream. But think about it. A cancer starts out with one immortal cell, meaning it can't die, and it doesn't respond to normal signaling mechanisms that healthy cells respond to. As cancer cells do, this cell divides. Each cancer has what we call a doubling time, and it's going to be different for each one and each person. It's not as though a colon cancer has a doubling time of this many days and a breast cancer has that many days. It's going to be different for your tumor than anybody else's. But a common quoted average doubling time is 90 days. So if you start with one cell and it evades detection by the immune system, then it becomes 2 cells within 3 months. And then 3 months later, that makes 4 cells. And then those divide, and then 3 months later, there are 8 cells, and then 16, and then 32. Now you can see that this process is a very slow process. It takes actually about 8 to 10 years before a single tumor cell becomes large enough to show up on an image, like a CAT scan, a mammogram, an MRI, or a PET scan. In other words, it takes between 1 and 2 billion cells in one place, meaning forming a tumor, to be detectable with conventional means. So you're told you're in remission while you've got a few scattered cells in other parts of your body that were carried there through the bloodstream, forming new nests. Those nests can take up to 8 to 10 years before they are diagnosable as new tumors. Now, your cancer was not diagnosed until it reached at least 1 to 2 billion cells, and during that time, it very well could have spread already. It could have spread 3 years ago or 5 years ago, so that it's not so uncommon, sadly, to hear about people in remission who then have metastatic cancer within a few short years. All the while, blissfully unaware that no, they didn't quote unquote beat cancer. It's still there, just not detectable. So how do we solve this problem? It's actually not that hard. We do a test of circulating tumor cells. If we find any circulating tumor cells, we know it's just a matter of time before you're going to have metastatic cancer. Why don't we just beat them to the punch? Why don't we start attacking those cells now, rather than waiting until the PET scan comes up positive, or the PSA starts climbing from 0 again, or the mammogram becomes abnormal again, or whatever test we're using. If we test for circulating tumor cells, and then we examine those cells for their sensitivities to different agents, then we can target those cells using a variety of either natural or man-made chemical agents, or even gene therapy, to go after the cells that we cannot remove through surgery or radiation for that matter. There is just no reason why anyone in this world should receive the great news that they got it all and then end up dead in a few short years later. We can deal with this. If your doctor does not do circulating tumor cell testing, find one who does. Yeah, nobody wants their parade to be rained upon. Nobody wants to find out that their cancer isn't really gone, but I'd much rather find out now than when it's too late. And I think so would you. Find out today.